Guys, we may have gotten one of the best valued icon SBCs for sure, maybe SBCs in general of all time in terms of players. EA dropped this and it was literally half the price of their market value, which is something that we just have never seen before, unless the icon's like 7 mil or something like that, right? A 900k card came out for 450k, but there's actually a reason that EA did this, and we'll talk about that just in a little bit here as we get there. And we did sort of call it yesterday too, which is nice to get something right once in a while. We got that to talk about. The final day of like Black Friday-ish content with SBCs and Flash SBCs and stuff like that. Cyber Monday used to be a really big deal. I don't think Cyber Monday's that likely to get a lot of content really from EA anymore. I think Cyber Monday and Black Friday kind of morphed together because everyone shops online, and I think that is now reflected in FC. So anyway, probably the end of that. Some random bits of news to talk about today. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the top of the description. They're the safest and the cheapest option, and you can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. And thank you all for watching, of course. If you guys like, subscribe, do whatever you do, I can't say thank you enough. And let's just get started with, first of all, these evolutions, these Flash Evos, they expire very soon. Don't forget to do these, please. Even if you don't have a chain that's like right in mind when you do these, just go and do them. Find a player you think it might be worth it for. And I saw some complaints today too about people that don't have time to do all the Evos. They can't do them all, and there's only one active right now if you didn't pre-order the game. I definitely can understand that. And going back to these Flash ones here, you know, what do you guys think about these? Because if these really good Evos are only saved for maybe the bigger promos of the year, and you only see them a few times a year, you know, how do you feel about that? Does that make these bigger promos more interesting that way, even though we don't see this type of really good content all the time? And I know you can't have good content all the time, right? We talk about that too, but I'm curious to know, like, seeing a lot of these good Evos and good content too that comes with this, it's gonna be hard to go back to not having it. And by not having it, I mean not even really having anything close to it. You know, we kind of went from not really much to holy shit, there's countless things to do. Hopefully post this is a nice balance, right? I think that's what that would help get this game back in the right direction to me. The content's been unreal. I mean, it's actually been insane, and this goes right in hand with what we're talking about here. The base icon match day pick with Carlos Alberto and Cafu was half price basically, and now Fodder is rising a lot, mainly because of this. It's up as well because of the icon upgrade that came out today, so it's kind of both those things combined. But a big part of this is that, hey, you want an insane center back / right back for half the market value, here you go. And that's making Fodder rise up a ton. 87s and beyond, they're going up like crazy. And we can look at this right now as I refresh this page here. 87s and above really are going way up. 87s, if you bought when we talked about buying, even when they went down yesterday, they're up from that point when we talked about it. Same with 88s too. I think I tried to buy them at like the 12,000, 11.5 range on PC, and now they're up to almost that, from being down at 9,000 yesterday, going up 3,000, almost 4,000 coins today. So if you double dipped actually into some Fodder investing, you did really, really well. So congratulations. But we actually called this on the channel because we talked about how I don't think EA wants Fodder to be low this year. I think they definitely did not like that aspect of the low market last year, is that I think they dropped this at this value because now actually it's quite a bit higher. At 590k now, they dropped this at 450. They dropped it at that price because they knew it'd make Fodder go up a ton, plus the base icon upgrade as well. I want to say was when that dropped closer to 200k, now 260, it'll probably go to 275 or more like 300k, more along where EA wants this to be, right? 84% upvoted here on FUTGG, because when it came out, it was like, wow, that's great value. And same with this. This, I think, is one of the most upvoted SBCs in terms of players you're going to see, right? 81%. But I'm not going to lie, Fodder being higher, a lot of times, if there's ways to earn it untradeable, is a good thing for the guys who play the game a good amount, because then your packs like mean more when you do your champs rewards, when you do certain things like that. I know then obviously it's not as good for the people who need to buy Fodder, right? Because in that case, it's more expensive. But I think for the most part, Fodder being higher is nice. When you pack an 88 and he's not 5k, that's nice. And with this base icon upgrade here, the rumor on Twitter was like, hey, it's actually pretty good pack weight. I don't know how true that is. If you guys open this, let me know what you guys got. I'll probably have this for tomorrow's video. I think I'll have the regular base icon after I do some of the tournament and play my weekend league games and stuff like that. I'll have some more Fodder in here as well to open this. And I did think it was funny seeing that we got like crazy defenders and SBCs for really good value, but it's like defending so good right now, or it seemingly is really good for most people. And now you throw in Carlos Alberto, which, by the way, Anticipate Plus, if you've not used it yet, you're going to see that it is a must-have in your team, especially center backs. It's a must-have. That's not his reply down here. Yeah, like we'll be in everyone's team now. And it's funny that they pick defenders, you know, and defending so good. But okay, let's move on here now to some more leaks and news. The Thunderstruck mini release 2 is coming out. Official stats and playstyle pluses here. Had some nice cards, but kind of funny, as some of you guys know, in my star performer Evo, I put Nick Voltamata in, who has technical plus and looks almost, honestly, it looks probably worse. It's probably worse than this card right here. I'll just go and show you, actually. I think my playstyles are better probably on this card, but it's funny that, well, probably should have picked someone else actually at this point. Tech plus, and looks basically identical to the card coming out. Actually, a little bit better dribbling, and he does have 5-star skills, so maybe that won't be on this new card. But low-key, this card's pretty great. I know it's kind of like a trollier card, but it's still really good nonetheless, though. And N'Golo Kante's in there, who is just always insane in FIFA. Intercept plus, and going to be your standard Kante card. That's going to be amazing. Moving on down here, we got Bonansi, I think. Quick step plus, 85 pace, 87 dribbling on here. It's an all right card. We got Bah down here, 91 pace, 88 physical on him with whipped pass plus. Andrea Medina, left back, okay. Thomason, 75 pace center mid. Hopefully some sort of objective card, because my lord have mercy. Ezal Zuli looks okay. 90 dribbling is cool. And then Rose down there, 86 pace center back from Man City. And that is a mini release. But yeah, Voltamata was the guy everybody was happy to see. He's very good in this game. I promise you that card's going to be good. Is he going to be as good as Mbappe? No, okay, but you're going to have fun using him, and he's not bad. But yeah, here's the EA tweet explaining that it was the last Thunderstruck Flash SBC for Black Friday, and I don't really know why they don't do it for Cyber Monday. I feel like that would be a really cool thing to just do it one more time this week, but the past couple years, Cyber Monday's not really been a thing, so I think that's kind of it for Flash SBCs and Flash Evos for this promo, if I had to guess. But who knows? That could change this year. Now, next up here, we got this pro player controversy kind of thing that in an official FC Pro event, there was this goal scored here, and you can probably already imagine what goal it's going to be if you know some of the exploits in this game. And we can fast forward a bit to try and find it here. It's right about here. Yet passing it around, gets a little bit of an opening with some women's player. I can't tell who that is, and Rainbow flicks it up off the volley, bicycle kick in the back of the net. The same bullshit that we know has been in the game for years now that people are finding out is also on new gen. Sorry, it's blurry, by the way. I know that that's probably annoying, but yeah, I mean, it's an official FC Pro event where this happened, and this happens in FIFA 19. If you guys remember how bad the gameplay was in that game, right? You couldn't score like normal goals at all. You pretty much couldn't score them. The competitive events, like FC Pro events, were disgusting to watch, and it was kind of an embarrassing product, honestly, at the time. So it's not that crazy seeing things like this in a pro tournament. I mean, people they're playing this game for money. They're going to do whatever the fuck they want to. It is cringe to watch, obviously. Like, the mega cringe is the feeling that we all get from this, especially like the celebrations and shit like that afterwards. But he is playing for money, and it's in the game, so, you know, the people are going to use it. And the unfortunate thing is that I don't know when this is getting fixed, and this has supposedly been fixed 5 times. You've heard me talk about this probably 5 times in the last 3 weeks or so, that this has been fixed many times before. This glitch has been fixed like 5 times in the last 3 years, because in old gen, it's constant. Apparently it used to be constant, and it's never really been fixed. So hopefully now that it's in an FC Pro event, we can get some more traction on this from EA's eyes. Like, literally, we have to somehow nerf the living shit out of this. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how you nerf this. I mean, I do know how to nerf it, but I don't know how EA nerfs it now when they couldn't for 3 years. Like, I don't know. Nobody knows. There will be no rational answers here apart from the code is a fucking mess and they can't figure it out. The guys working on the gameplay don't fully know how it works, or at least fully know the extent of how messed up certain things are. So yeah, that was causing some debates today about, yeah, in pro events, like kick the guy out or whatever for doing that. Is it cringe? Yes, it obviously is, but you're not kicking the guy out for doing something that's in the game. I mean, you can't, unless it was agreed on before the game that, yeah, we're not going to score goals like this. But integrity in the FIFA competitive scene, I mean, good God, that's out the window. It's been out the window for years. Next up here is this Reddit post. So apparently this Wahoo's guy has been a guy who has dropped a lot of guides on the 352 on Reddit for many years. He's been the 352 connoisseur, if you will, and he does say here that he made this like random post. Christmas this came early. EA's finally fixed the 352. It's a Black Friday miracle. He says guide when, and somebody replies down here saying fixed how, what's changed, and a random person replies down here and says based on recent posts, they probably made it so the 3 center backs are not too spread apart, / giving away too many wide gaps, and probably also left mids and right mids tracking back properly. And he also says I remember some dudes were saying that the wide center back role was broken. Maybe that actually was fixed to help a 352 out as well. So I do want to say that maybe some roles and stuff's getting fixed here. I know that like 5 back you couldn't run, attacking wing backs really hard to run as well. There's been a lot of roles glitches in this game, and of course the roles that work okay are the ones that are most meta, right? If you want to play outside the box, it's like, well, actually that's already harder, and then actually the roles don't even work on top of that, which of course, but this is why roles shouldn't exist, right? We know this by now, but the fact that they can be glitched for months, I mean, we're 2 months into this game and certain roles have not worked since the start of the game, right? So that's a 1/5 of the game cycle, and for some people it's like a 1/3 of if you won't play the game all year. It might even be half for some of you. Like literally like half the game cycle you couldn't run the formation you wanted to because EA couldn't code roles properly. So, you know, that's always great. If you take it away, I promise, if EA takes roles away, I won't even be mad they added them. I'll just be so thankful they're gone. At least just being tied to cards, especially. Like if they're just not tied to cards, I will be so thankful. I won't even be upset that they were implemented in the first place. I won't care. I'll just be so thankful that they are finally off of this game. Wait, I was just reading through Reddit and I saw this post. I thought this was kind of funny. We are all just bots in a primitive simulation. Begin simulation. 4-4-1-1. Through ball to winger. Cut inside finesse or low driven. Run back with center mids. Hold for second man press. Repeat. Win when server and RNG decide it's your time. Be happy. Lose when server and RNG decide you need to stay engaged. Be frustrated. Complete SBC and Evo like good bot. Maybe one day you'll break free. Not today. Simulation continues. Hey, I'm for this. This is actually a banger post here, but hey, we're having good content, okay? We'll hold off for a day or 2 on this, all right? We're having good content here. We'll be back, all right? We'll be back probably, but let's you know, enjoy this good content while we can, right? Because it's not going to be here forever. And also break the simulation, break the cycle, all right? Use what you want to do, have fun. Don't be too, oops, I just dropped something. Don't be too frustrated when you lose. You know, the gameplay isn't very good. A lot of it's not your fault. Just go out there and do what you can to have some fun, and that's what's important. All right, break the simulation. And with the market right now, guys, it's been going down again from yesterday. We saw some cards like, for example, Pedro Neto was like around the 340 mark. He's now 280 today. We talked about potentially buying tomorrow night. I think that's probably a pretty decent time. I'm not even that bullish on buying on Sunday, but I think it's probably your best time to look at doing it because obviously week 2's SBCs are actually usually better than week 1's. It can vary, of course, but week 2's content usually can be better than week 1's content. This is kind of a special occasion, and this is Black Friday, so it's a little different, but I wouldn't be shocked to see another week of good content and some good evos dropped in there as well. That'll make stuff go down. So keep in mind though, these are upgradable cards, right? So starting next weekend, they're upgradable. But the problem is actually that these upgrades on these cards, this might be the first promo in a long time at least, where a lot of these cards, the upgrades are not really going to mean anything, honestly. Like for example, this Musiala, you gain +1 play style next weekend, right? If he wins the next game. After that, if they win or draw in the next 5 matches again, you get all the rolls ++, and that maybe would up value. I don't know if that would, honestly. I'd probably lean towards not much. And then the next one here is another play style, right? So it's like, well, if they give you a shit play style on both of these, it's not going to mean anything. So people are saying like, oh, you know, buy these cards are upgradable too. People are forgetting that. Well, the upgrades are not that good. The ones that could be interesting is just like the Athena here, right? Where she could get a good play style plus potentially, and that could boost her value if she ends up getting 10 goals in the next 5 games, because it can be a play style plus here if they don't have one already. So that's like the investing ones, but really there's not much here with upgrades to look at. So I wouldn't worry too much about the upgrades when it comes to the buy times here. I think for meta cards, your best time is gonna be Sunday night to me. I don't think we're gonna see much Cyber Monday content. I think that's kind of done. So I that's really what I would say. It's not gonna be a great time to buy, but it's your best time, I think. And also, guys, 88, 87 informs here is a must buy to me. You know, just stock them in your club. 11,000 coins for 87 informs. I know champs rewards have changed and stuff, but there's a point this year they're going to be higher than this. And I think you might as well go out and buy a few 88 informs for 13K. They're the price of 88s, basically. There's no reason to not go out and buy Lavelle, McCabe, Buell, and Rice and just stock them in your club. And same thing with Berger, Çalhanoğlu, and Bruno. And really all of them if you got spare coins enough. But just go out and stack up those guys in your team. Even the 89 informs, I wouldn't hate buying those at 21K. They're also the price of what 89s are right now. So yeah, that's definitely a must buy to me. And okay, let's read some of your comments now. We got Jazz D. Thomas. Are you a Jazz fan? I apologize. Keontae George, though, just saw 2K have introduced season pass level skips. How long before that's in the FC franchise? So how long before level skips? I mean, anytime now. If the season pass is a hit, and I'm assuming, wow, I got his voice cracked. If it's a hit, which I'm assuming it's been a hit for the most part, this is a matter of time till we see level skips. And I think the unfortunate thing about level skips is that if you implement level skips, that is a huge like power curve booster potentially, because if you want to make a season that is still worthwhile for somebody who's not buying level skips, you've got to make the content be viable for right now if somebody buys the whole season, while not being too good to raise alarms on pay to win. So you have to like balance that aspect of have it be good 4 weeks from now and also not too good for right now. Power curve has to kind of say the same then for like each season. I don't know how realistic that is, and I do think we're gonna see this. So we're gonna end up in a situation to me where this is gonna happen, and there's gonna be good ass cards in the season pass that people will just pay like $50 for, just get it immediately, right? I think that's gonna happen at some point, but the balance that EA will do, we're gonna see. It is to me a matter of time. And then Gate Fighter here, he says, hey y'all, should I put first touch or tiki taka on my cam / striker considering future evos? So first touch or tiki taka, it's tiki taka all day. Not even close. I know first touch I've talked about before how good it can be, and I wouldn't take it over too many playstyles, but like tiki taka, I would take it. I'd take low driven, I would take incisive, and I would take, I don't know, maybe rapid. I guess first touch is up there though, because it just gives your players just a nice base floor of dribbling that other cards just don't have. And we got Nats fan 18 here, who is responding to something I said yesterday. I said that the player numbers don't really matter if you're playing the game. Does it change too much if the player count's down more than usual? I said probably not. And he's responding to that by saying the active player numbers do matter to you if you're playing the game because it affects the market, the difficulty of each level of rivals, and thus champs, plus how EA does content, as we all know. I do think, yes, that is true, that in general, then if the casuals leave, the player counts are down. And I'm assuming then you're inferring that like it's the casuals leaving, the hardcore players are staying, right? If that's the case, and yes, like the difficulty level of each rivals and champs game is probably higher. That does play a part in this. Your rewards might get worse. And the market part really only helps you because the market gets cheaper then. So it's like, okay, you can just use better players. But I do agree that the way it would affect the most is like your general level of player that you play against in all these other modes if the casuals aren't really there and the player counts are down. That is true. It's something I didn't really think about yesterday. And I guess one thing too is chem styles on PC especially, because you know on PC there's a much less player base. So you can see the positives and negatives that you can have on like the PC market with a lower player base. One of the negatives is chem styles. There'll be times when there's so much more demand than supply for shadows and hunters that you like can't buy them. Basically, it's you literally can't try and snipe them. There can be some like weird quirks in there where yeah, maybe a low player count does affect certain parts of the game, and it definitely does. But I think for the most part, in general, it's a good thing if they're making content better because less people are playing and you're still playing the game. It like 99% just helps us, right? So I think that's what I was saying yesterday about I'm not complaining when EA make good content based off bad numbers, because like that just kind of helps us. It's not a negative they're doing that. They're doing that because they need to, but it just sucks that they're only doing that because they feel like they need to. And the proof isn't really even there for that still. We've still got, you know, the Twitch numbers to see for November, or sorry, not Twitch numbers, the Steam numbers to see for November. You know, we don't really know the level of this stuff, but we can assume, and I do think it's probably a little bit lower this year, at least what they wanted, 100% than what they wanted. But if we're still playing the game and they change content based off that, it sucks they had to do that, that's what it took, but it's good for us. They're making content better still nonetheless. But guys, hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I love you, and thank you all for watching and being here today, and I will see you next time. Peace.